Hello friends, this is Coach Bruce Price. I can't begin to tell you how blessed I am and how thrilled I am to launch this new initiative. Believe it, see it, and achieve it with Coach Bruce. The purpose of this initiative is not only to help me continue to become the best person that I can be, but to help everyone I touch recognize and reach the potential and the greatness that God has placed inside of all of us. You know, for over 25 years, I had the great privilege to work in corporate America for some of the greatest corporations in this country. During that time in my life and my career, I was positively impacted by some of the great leaders in this country, to whom I'm still grateful for today. One of my great mentors challenged me to become a reader. And it was so interesting as a young business executive. The very first self-help book that I purchased was called The Peak to Peak Principle by the late Dr. Robert Schuller. Now, I didn't know then that that book would change my life, but literally it did. And that book has helped me positively impact the lives of hundreds of people, both young and old. I was so mentally and emotionally moved by the concepts in that book, of which Dr. Robert Schuller called peak experiences, that it began to transform how I thought about my own journey to my personal greatness. And it also planted a seed in me that would manifest itself for another 17 to 18 years. A peak experience, as Dr. Robert Schuller described, as a positive experience that affirms who you are, and it leaves you with an awareness that you are more than you ever thought you were. You succeed at something that may seem small to others, but it is a mountain scale in your own mind. That passage will never leave me from the book that I read many years ago. After becoming a father of two very beautiful daughters with my wife Angela, we moved to the Atlanta area, and we've now been married for 34 years. And as I began to transition myself into the Atlanta marketplace, I started to train my own daughter Allison and many of the young girls in the Atlanta area in the sport of basketball. It was that at that time, God placed a calling on my life. That calling was to use a simple sport called basketball to build self-esteem, self-image, and a positive belief system in these young girls that I was blessed to work with. The guidance and support that I received from the parents of these young student athletes was overwhelming. The impact that I was making on their psyche, their self-esteem, was amazing. Because I had been employed, again, with some of the great training corporations, I began to take corporate leadership strategy and put them into a kid-friendly package, again, using the sport of basketball. So with encouragement of parents, I initiated a program, a training program for basketball and for young girls called Peak Performance. Now, I hope you caught the fact that I named my training organization after Dr. Robert Schuller's book, The PEAK to PEEK Principle. Now, my initial vision, again, was just to help each one of these young student athletes develop a love for the game, develop a work ethic, develop a belief system that if they put the work in, that they would be prepared to play at a higher level. But again, as God does, He expanded my vision. I quickly realized that I could take this sport of basketball and help transform positively the trajectory of the future for these young athletes. So again, with some great support of some local parents, we sat together and we developed and implemented a 501c3 nonprofit Georgia corporation called Peak Performance Sports and Development Foundation, Incorporated. Our cause at Peak Performance Sports and Development Foundation is developing the next generation of empowered women. Again, our cause is developing the next generation of empowered women. We help good girls become better people. We develop little girls into leading women using a simple sport called basketball. Yeah, I love the book that I just finished reading called Lean In from Sheryl Sandberg. And Sheryl, we've been leaning in now for over 10 years, empowering young women around the state of Georgia. Now, God has continued to intensify my calling in this area of what I'm going to call human performance. So now I affectionately refer to myself as Coach Bruce, a human performance coach, helping people achieve levels of breakthrough performance in all areas of life, in business, relationships, in academics, in sports. Through the Peak Performance Sports and Development Foundation, I and many volunteers have had the distinct pleasure to touch and again positively impact over 600 student athletes. We have student athletes coming from a 4-hour radius of Atlanta to be a part of this collection of highly motivated, high-character young female student athletes. Through our Peak Foundation, we have graduated 80 student athletes. 80 of these young women have enrolled in NCAA institutions around the country. 61 of our graduates, 75%, have enrolled on full athletic scholarships. The Peak Performance Foundation has generated over $4 million in athletic scholarship dollars for families around the state of Georgia. Through working with these dynamic young student athletes and their parents, again, I have become affectionately known as Coach Bruce. Now, this title of coach that the girls gave me and that I wear proudly, it is now a passion for my life. In my corporate employee development and leadership training sessions that I conduct with corporations around the state of Georgia, I position myself simply as coach. The word coach has so much meaning to me now. It means to be a teacher, be a supporter, be a cheerleader, be a believer, a tough love partner, a guiding light, a motivator, and yes, a role model. I am not ashamed to be a role model for the young people that I serve and for the corporate executives that I support and develop every day. Now, every day I wake up with a different focus on life. I wake up with a mindset that not only do I want to continue to be better as a person, but in every human interaction I have during the course of the day, my goal is very clear. I want to help people break mental models. I want them to set new visions. I want them to set goals. And I want to help everyone I touch recognize and reach the inner greatness that God has placed inside of them. Again, recognizing and reaching the inner greatness that God has placed in each individual. Now, I simply don't want to just fire people up and say, you can do it. My goal every day is to walk with you, to talk with you, to help you develop a belief in yourself, help you see a new vision of what's possible, to share strategies and tactics and pearls of wisdom that will help you be the best you that you can be and live the best life possible. You know, I love the movie The Wizard of Oz, and as Dorothy was going to see the Oz, she had some people along the yellow brick road that shared the journey. And that's what I, Coach Bruce, want to be with you. I want to share ideas with you. I want us to support each other and share information, again, that helps us all raise to a new level of performance. So when you come to our site, the Believe It, See It, Achieve It with Coach Bruce site, whether it be on our Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or on our YouTube channel, I will provide information, testimonials, and practical applications as your life coach and your partner, again, on this journey we call life. I now want to thank my wife Angela, my daughters Brandy and Allison. I want to personally thank my mentor David Garnett, all of my friends, relatives that have supported me and prayed for me. I want to thank the Peak girls at Peak Basketball who have allowed me to coach them and who have inspired me to a level of greatness. I want to thank the parents of those Peak girls who entrusted in me their daughters and who supported me in the initiatives and the training strategies that I was implementing and I still today implement with their young students. I want to give a special thank you to my corporate friends at Piedmont Healthcare and to the good folks down at Goodwill Industries of North Georgia. Thank you all so much for believing in me and for what I stand for. Again, to my friends, and there are so many that I could name, but it would take me too long in this video to do. Having coffee with me, lunch with me, helping me see my new vision. And you know, there are oftentimes people ask me, why do you do what you do? And my simple response is, you don't see what I see. And that's what I want to instill in all the young people and the executive corporate leaders that I touch through my training initiatives. I want people to not understand why you're willing to get up early and stay late. Why are you willing to run more sprints? Or why are you willing to take more shots? Because again, those who are trying to get to the peak levels of performance are willing to do what others aren't willing to do. So again, when people ask me, why do you do what you do? And again, I simply say, it's because you don't see what I see. So here we go. Let's start this journey together to be the best people that we can be. And let's all become coaches as we live this life and help others live the best life that they can live. So in closing, I'm going to be the best me that I can be. I want you to be the best you that you can be. And together, let's make an agreement that we will be willing to help someone else along this journey we call life. Until next time, I am Coach Bruce.